What up, traders? It's War Boss Tay up in this mud. War Master Tay, I should say. And look what I was able to get done. My Rhino. So, for those of you who are building a Chaos Space Marines Rhino and painting it up, some advice that I would give is Chaos stuff always looks cooler when you add chipping effects to it. And what I realized when I was doing it, because I haven't done chipping effects in a long time. Let me show you the last time I really did it on a vehicle. Oh boy, I have to dust off my other Rhino here. This is my Blood Angels Rhino that I painted up last year, I think. And I've been leaving it out, so it's been getting kind of dusty. But the chipping effects I did here were that I first lined the edges with Caridin granite, and then inside those I painted chainmail. And so that's how I did the weathering and chipping effect for this Rhino. But when I decided to do this Rhino, I had forgotten about that first step. So I really just painted the chainmail, and you can really tell the difference. It doesn't look quite as what's the word I want? I'm not gonna say good, because I think it still looks good. The Rhino still looks good, I think, but just the chipping effect isn't as believable, I guess. It looks more like I just painted metal paint on rather than the paint of the Night Lord's vehicle got scraped off, and then underneath the deeper gouges have brought out this metallic undercoat. So I'm probably going to go back over with Caridin granite and do all these chips again. But, okay, the reason I want to make this video is to show you that I finished it. And it took me a while, but I wasn't doing anything last night and today. Really, so I just spent the time doing up this baby, and let me show you what I've done. First of all, if you are a fan of the Night Lords, or if you're interested in them and the way they think and stuff, besides going to the Lexicanum and Warhammer Wiki, you gotta read these books. Voidstalker, Soul Hunter, and the other one was called, what was it called? Crimson? No. Bloody? No. Something. Spooky adjective, awesome noun. Okay, that's all I remember. And in it, it really tells you, it gives you a hint at their, at their character and their psyches and stuff, and what they think and how they feel, and how they look at the world, the Imperium, the universe. In the beginning, they attack this world, and on the world, they have just poor, defenseless farmers, women, children, old people, and they don't care. Their main objective is to spread terror and fear and to attack the innocent and defenseless that cannot give them a fair fight. They are not looking for a fair fight, so they go in and they're terrifying this poor population and attacking little kids and poor defenseless civilians and skinning them and hanging them on chains and dragging their flayed bodies behind them. It is just so awesome and sick and descriptive, and just like, oh man, these guys are sick. Anyways, so one of the chapters that retaliates against them, attacks them, is all of the 13th Legion, the Ultramarines, all of their successor chapters. So I decided to paint up one of the Ultramarine successor chapters, the Nova Marines. You've got this blue and white helmet with the green eye lenses, and stick that on there. Then the rest I just decided to paint like they took their heads and skinned the flesh off, flayed off all the flesh, and now they have this kind of dried blood looking, just really gory, freshly skinned heads, just dangling, skulls dangling off their chains and stuff. Here's a guy, they decided to leave his skin on, and just stick his head on the chain. So there's that. Lightning bolt. Tried something a little different, and I think it works with these bigger bigger vehicles with more of a surface area. For lightning effects, I started with this paint, Sotek Green, and then I painted on the lighter blue, I think it was a Lothern blue, and then the white on top of that, and that really makes it look, I think, a lot better against the blue background. And here we have in Nostroman runes, or Nostroman script, the way of that they write to remember Nostromo, the names of the original claw, because they don't have squads in the Night Lords, they call them claws. So 5th Company, 2nd Claw, instead of 5th Company, 2nd Squad. It's the name of their squad, or their claw, and then all the names of the original squad members. And every time one of the original squad members gets killed, then they'll write his name on and bring in a replacement from another claw. So this is just to kind of, I don't want to say honor, because they don't really care about that kind of stuff, but just to remember those in the original squad, the Nostroman-born sons from when they founded the Legion before they blew up their planet. Here's the Havoc missile launcher right there. Unobtrusively painted the magnet so that it would stick back on. And I didn't really paint the interior, I didn't have any time, I just wanted to get the exterior done for this video, so I don't really have anything to show you on the interior. But, oh yeah, I also want to say thank you to 51 Demonic, one of my subscribers, who suggested that if his weapon really got hot, there would be more scorch marks on his body. So I just took some Chaos Black, dry brushed it on his chest plate, his shoulder pad, and his arm. Some of you might be wondering why he's got an Imperial chest plate rather than a Chaos one. And that's because the Night Lords, like many, if not all of the Chaos Legions, they don't have their own worlds and support system where they can make their own. They don't have forge worlds where they can make new armor sets and stuff. They have to pillage and what's it called? Like vultures, they have to take the armor and weapons off of their victims or even comrades. So in the Night Lords novels, they make a great point about how the main character, Talos, his armor, some of it is ancient and has been with him since Nostromo, and some of it is really recent because he's had to patch himself up and replace broken armor with new stuff. So, there's my Rhino. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys, especially Night Lords people out there, got some inspiration for how to do yours, or if not, just how to creatively add to your Rhino. You don't have to just leave it in its base coat or its undercoat, you know? It's a lot of work to think of some extra stuff, but I think it's interesting, like having the names of the original claw on the back door here. Or another thing you could do would be to write in script somewhere else, like the names of worlds they've been to, or famous enemies, foes they have defeated in battle and taken their skulls and decorated their vehicle with. There's a lot of great room for that kind of creative stuff when you're doing Warhammer. And the last thing I want to say in my video is that my two most, I don't want to say favorite, because everybody who posts videos I really enjoy and watch video responses to my June painting project, but the two guys who really dove into the painting project, really got in every day, just about every day, and made videos, and were the most inspirational and the ones that I had the most fun watching, who weren't just, okay, this is what I did today and this is what I'm going to do tomorrow, but really started talking about techniques and background and history and interesting, you know, war stories that we gamers love to listen to. The two guys to me that really stuck out as the ones that really jumped into this challenge in that regard are Feralstryke and T27. You've heard them before if you've been watching these Night Lords videos. And so I decided, in their honor, I am going to name and honor them with this Rhino. Name this Rhino and honor them through it. So the name of the Rhino is going to be the Feralstryke of Nostromo, and it's going to have been one of the Rhinos that is actually not a looted vehicle, but one of the original ones from Nostromo that this company happens to have left in its hangar bays. And so it's almost a relic because it's been through so much and been patched up and repaired, even though they've used looted enemy parts and armor. The machine spirit itself, the servitor grafted into it to drive it, or not to drive it, but to run the weapon systems. The machine spirit that actually runs the workings of the Rhino is, let's not say the machine spirit, because machine spirits are ancient, and for those of you who read the novels, I don't think actual machine spirits have individual names. I think they just call it the machine spirit of this Rhino, or the machine spirit of this Land Raider or Titan or whatever. But they do have servitors that work inside that are kind of required to maintain and run the vehicle if it's not being piloted, or even if it is being piloted, just to run all the systems. So the machine servitor that is assigned to the Feralstryke of Nostromo is Servitor T27. Aw, yeah. So, and he's somewhere in here in the cockpit working the machine. So just wanted to do that. I thought that might be a fluffy, fun, and interesting way to honor my 2 subscribers who've been just posting non-stop almost every day for this project. And so thank you to you guys. Thank you to everybody who's been watching and following along. As you can tell, I'm a big proponent that fluff should dictate your army, or should dictate at least the look of it. Just because I know I'm not the only one out there who loves putting my army on the field and having people come by and be like, wow, that looks cool. What is that? How did you do that? What part did you use for this? What is this over here? Why did you paint it like this? I love that. I love when that happens. So this is the newest addition to my army in honor of Feralstryke and T27, and I hope you guys like it, and we'll see you in the next video.